In recent times, South Africa's political landscape has been marked by intense debates and confrontations among its leaders. One such notable incident involves Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, and President Cyril Ramaphosa. Malema has publicly questioned the authenticity of President Ramaphosa's involvement in the National Union of Mineworkers, NUM, suggesting that Ramaphosa was never a mine worker and implying that his role in the union's formation might not be as genuine as widely believed. This assertion has ignited discussions about the true nature of Ramaphosa's contributions to the labor movement and the broader implications for his political legacy. The claims have sent shockwaves through political circles, with many questioning whether Malema's accusations hold weight or if they are merely a strategic move in the ongoing battle for political dominance. To fully grasp the weight of Malema's claims, it's essential to delve into the historical context of Cyril Ramaphosa's involvement with the NUM. In the early 1980s, the mining industry in South Africa was a cornerstone of the economy, predominantly controlled by white-owned corporations. Black mine workers faced harsh working conditions, low wages, and systemic discrimination. They were often forced to work long hours in dangerous environments, with little regard for their safety or well-being. Amidst this backdrop, there was a pressing need for a unified body to represent the rights and interests of these marginalized workers, to ensure that their voices were heard and their concerns addressed. The mining industry was at the heart of apartheid-era exploitation, and the workers needed strong leadership to fight for their rights. In 1982, at the behest of the Council of Unions of South Africa, CUSA, Cyril Ramaphosa, then a young lawyer and activist, was instrumental in establishing the National Union of Mineworkers. Serving as its first General Secretary, Ramaphosa's leadership saw the union's membership burgeon from a modest 6,000 in its inception to an impressive 300,000 by 1992. This rapid growth underscored the union's pivotal role in championing workers' rights and challenging the oppressive structures of apartheid within the mining sector. The NUM became one of the most powerful labor organizations in the country, leading strikes, negotiations, and protests that put immense pressure on the apartheid government and mining corporations. Ramaphosa's legal background played a key role in ensuring that workers were able to organize effectively, making gains in wages, safety regulations, and overall working conditions. However, Julius Malema's recent remarks cast a shadow over this narrative. By questioning whether Ramaphosa ever worked as a miner, Malema suggests that the president's connection to the very workers he purportedly represented might be tenuous. This critique raises pertinent questions. Can one effectively lead and advocate for a group without having shared their lived experiences? Does the absence of first-hand experience diminish the legitimacy of one's leadership and contributions? If Ramaphosa had never personally endured the hardships of being a miner, does that make his work as a union leader less authentic? These are critical questions that add a new dimension to the debate about leadership, representation, and authenticity in labor movements and politics. Supporters of President Ramaphosa argue that his legal expertise and strategic acumen were invaluable assets in navigating the complex negotiations between mine workers and the predominantly white-owned mining conglomerates. They contend that his role as a legal advisor and organizer was crucial in articulating the grievances of the workers and effecting tangible changes in labor policies. The significant strides made by the NUM under his stewardship, they assert, are testament to his commitment and efficacy, irrespective of his personal work history in the mines. Many argue that leadership is not necessarily about personal experience but about the ability to strategize, negotiate, and implement policies that bring real change. They point to Ramaphosa's success in securing better wages, improved working conditions, and increased rights for workers as evidence that he was indeed an effective and dedicated leader. Conversely, critics, bolstered by Malema's assertions, posit that genuine representation necessitates a shared experience. They argue that without having endured the arduous and often perilous conditions of mine work, Ramaphosa's leadership might lack the depth of understanding required to truly champion the cause. The argument here is that lived experience is crucial in labor movements, that only someone who has physically endured the hardships of mining can fully grasp the struggles of mine workers. This perspective raises deeper questions about leadership in various fields, whether political, corporate, or social, and whether true representation can exist without direct experience. Critics also argue that while Ramaphosa may have been instrumental in forming the NUM, his later transition into business and political leadership distances him from the struggles of the working class, making him more aligned with corporate interests than labor rights. Malema's comments must also be seen in the broader context of South African politics, where the EFF has positioned itself as the voice of the poor and working class, often opposing the ruling African National Congress, ANC, and its leadership. The EFF has consistently argued that the ANC has abandoned the revolutionary principles it once stood for, aligning itself with corporate elites at the expense of ordinary citizens. By challenging Ramaphosa's credibility as a union leader, Malema is also indirectly questioning his legitimacy as a leader of the nation. The implication is that if Ramaphosa's role in NUM was overstated or symbolic, then his entire political career might be based on a misleading foundation. This is a powerful political maneuver that plays into the growing dissatisfaction among South Africans. The response to Malema's remarks has been mixed. While some have dismissed his comments as political grandstanding, others believe there is merit to his argument. Political analysts suggest that this debate could have implications for the upcoming elections, as credibility and authenticity become key factors in voter decisions. If Malema's accusations gain traction, they could weaken Ramaphosa's standing among working-class voters, potentially benefiting the EFF and other opposition parties. At the same time, the ANC has strong historical ties to the labor movement, and its supporters may rally around Ramaphosa, seeing this as yet another attempt by Malema to stir controversy without substantial evidence. In the coming months, as elections draw closer and political rhetoric intensifies, this issue is likely to remain a hot topic. Both Malema and Ramaphosa will need to navigate the political landscape carefully, ensuring that they address public concerns while maintaining their respective narratives. The battle for credibility and authenticity is one that will not be easily won, and the outcome could have lasting effects on South Africa's political trajectory. What do you think about Malema's claims? Do you believe that a leader must have first-hand experience to effectively represent a group? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth political analysis and discussions.